Hey beauties, I'm going to show you how I go from this to this to this and ultimately this. My first shot at a crochet bob. I'm trying out some new colors as well here with this honey brown and two-tone hair, and I really love how this came out, especially for it to be my first try like many of the videos I post here. This is by far the craziest thing I've tried so far this year, and I'm beyond excited to share how I did this. Starting with my braiding pattern for how I wanted to lay the crochet hair. So in the back, I'm just showing you that I connect the braids by just kind of feeding in the last braid that I did. I kind of braid them down all the way and then just connect them by feeding them into the current braid that I'm doing. And so I'm just showing you that process. I hope I'm explaining that well. You just feed the last braid into your current braid until you get to the ends. And then I just kind of fold those around and pin them. I do not like sewing. I'm not a good sewer, so this is just the best I could come up with. I just use some bobby pins to pin the ends of those two braids that were left out. And now I'm showing you the hair itself. I use this 26-inch, it's two-tone 30, TT30, and I also use the color 30. So the TT30 is this darker color because it's two-tone, it gets lighter at the bottom. And then the number 30 is this just one-tone, kind of like a honey brown color. And I really love the way that these mix when you actually put them in. So here you can just see me separating the sections and getting them ready. I got the 26-inch because I planned on cutting that into 13-inch pieces, and then those would ultimately, when you crochet them in the back, they turn into like about 6-inch pieces because I knew I wanted this to be a bob. So I just went very basic, you know. I knew I wanted to be short in the back. This is I used the braiding rack to kind of like separate it. So I just start with those short pieces in the back. They're about 6.5 inches, like I said. And I'm showing you how I do this. I have a certain way of doing it in the back, and I have a more broken down process for this in another video, which I'll link in the cards up here. But I'm gonna show you like a more zoomed in version of this in the front a little bit later in the video. I'm just showing you that I create a little knot in the back after I create the bigger knot. And again, I know I'm not explaining this a lot, but I will explain this in depth in a second. You can see here that I create this little knot around my bigger crochet knot, and that is just to kind of like lock it in and make sure it doesn't come out. And I do that a couple times, and that's going to be my process for the full back of my head. And there's going to be a reason why I change it up for the front, and I'll show you that later. But this is how it looks. I'm not focusing on the shape at all yet. I'm just focusing on getting those crochet sections in there and just building it. You can see the shots coming together. You can see the hairstyle kind of coming together here. Again, I'm going to have to shape it out in the back to turn it into that bob. But I really love this hair and how it looks more and more natural the more I build the style and install it. And I really, really love that. And the colors really came together. So this is a up close shot, and I'm going to show you this now. So I drag the crochet hook through, and I have my little section. I pull that. You always want to pull your crochet hook towards where you want the knot to sit. And I want my knot to sit away from my middle part, so that's why I pulled it towards away from that part. So I have a loop and I have my two sections. I'm going to take just one of those sections and just kind of drive that through the loop. And this is going to be how I create my big knot. Okay, I drive that one section through the loop a couple times. You can see the other section is just down there. I use that other section. I pull them tight in order to secure that. And I am pulling one of those little sections away just so that I can work with the one down here. So this one that's left down here, I'm pulling the tiniest little strand of hair out. It's a few strands. You can barely see it. I'm trying to point it out on the camera, but I'm just taking the tiniest little section and I'm going to twist that around this one section that I left down here. This is the section where your knot is. This is how you're going to make sure that your big knot does not come out. You're just going to take this little tiny section of hair that you separated. I call it a strand, but you can call it whatever. It's just the little tiniest little piece, and I'm wrapping that around several times. And then I'm just going to create a simple knot with it. And I'm going to do that a couple times. I'm showing you how I'm dragging that through my index and thumb to create a knot. And then I'm pulling that taut. And then I go in again and I wrap it around a few more times. This may seem like overkill, but if you've ever done a crochet style, you know that you want it to be secure. So I wrap it around several times and I tie a couple knots. And then I just use that top section of hair to kind of hide the knot, conceal it a little bit. And then I'm going to show it again, and this time I'm just kind of like speeding it up so you can see me pulling the section through. I have my loop at the top and my two sections on the other side. I take one section, pull it through your loop. Okay, I did it a couple times and then I speed it up. I let the one section just kind of chill back there while I separate the tiniest piece, wrap that around, and I create another loop. This is a video, so you can go back and rewind to the slower part if you need to go back through it again. I just wanted to show you that a couple times, but I didn't want to bore you with a whole bunch of slow motion video. So that's how I get my knots to kind of be hidden in the front. And this is what it looks like just without me shaping. This is before I shape it. I have my full 13-inch pieces in the front, because remember, you bend your 26-inch pieces, so you end up with 13-inch pieces in the front and then 6-inch pieces in the back. And this is really pretty, of course, but I really wanted it to have that bob shape and that definition. And here was the scary part for me. Trying to cut this in front of the camera was just so scary because I'd already put in so much work to crochet the hair. So I got what I could on camera, but guys, ultimately I had to go and get some mirrors and kind of work my magic off the camera. But you can see it, you can see the shape kind of coming into view more. But definitely for the back, I had to do that part off camera. And you can see here, I was just doing my best to cut it into a bob shape without doing too much. And miraculously, it came out really, really well. Like, I'm not a cutter at all. So for this to have come out like this, I'm so grateful. I just had to use a couple mirrors and do my best to try to shape it as best I could. And yeah, guys, this is the result. I love this so much. I know I say that about all my styles, but I'm just truly shocked that this came out like this. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you made it to the end of the video, shoot me some sunflowers in the comments to just let me know that you stayed with me and you're a real one. And again, if you haven't already, like and subscribe and turn on your notifications, because I try to post every week new hair ideas. Thanks, guys. Later.